You're listening to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill in St. Joseph, Missouri. It's our live weekly chat with Missouri Western coaches and athletes. Here's your host for the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, Tommy Rezach.
Happy Monday, happy March. Welcome back to Hi-Ho Bar and Grill and our live Griffin Sports Insider Podcast. Yep, it's spring. That means we've got a lot to talk about, not just basketball and the amazing week we just had in Kansas City and our men's basketball team that punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament officially late last night. You know, nothing like a 10 p.m. Central Time selection show, but, nothing we can do about that. But our men's basketball team is Topeka bound. Of course, we will talk about that. Our women's basketball team that had a Herculean efforts in the MIAA tournament. We'll talk about that too. But this week, baseball, softball, tennis, and yes, golf next week will be in action. And also we have a track athlete, Mackenzie Garr, making her way to Virginia Beach this weekend to compete in the NCAA Indoor National Championships. We're giving Sean the week off as they prepare for that, so we'll reconvene with track next week. And then lacrosse. Lacrosse has a bye week as well, so we'll be talking lacrosse. Not this week, but next. But, you know how golf works, folks. They're usually on the links at this time during the week on Monday, Tuesday, and that's where men's golf was last weekend in Rogers, Arkansas. A two-day event in which the Griffins finished strong. 8th out of 17 teams, and Aiden Asby, our senior, finishing inside the top 10. Here to talk about it. It's been a little while, Matt Thrasher, since we've been able to talk golf with you, but good to have you back on the program talking to golf weather. We got some beautiful days ahead here this week. Hopefully it stays that way as we have softball and baseball coming up at home too, but just, dusting off the clubs after the fall season, first time out. I know maybe that first round especially maybe didn't go as well as you'd like, but really a solid finish. You get a top 10 finisher. Just what'd you think of the men's first time out this spring?
Yeah, just knocking off some rust and such, but, so is everybody else. Weather wasn't very ideal. Got some heavy rains
I knew there were
Sunday.
rain chances there.
Yeah, and golf course was it's really dormant, so it wasn't in very good shape, especially after the rain and everything. But no, Aiden played very well. We were making a really good comeback that last round. We were even par through like 12 holes and just didn't finish. It's our MO anymore. We just got to get that 4 and 5 bag in the house, and I think we will. Hopefully it happens this coming week down in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and for your women, they'll be in action a week from today in the Show Me State in Bolivar for the Midwest Intercollegiate. And just talking of our women, we know it's a young group, 3 freshmen and 2 sophomore, but 2 terrific seniors on their home stretch now in Saya Schweitzer and Enos Vandal. Both all-conference, both multiple event winners in their time. For those two, how motivated are they this spring to go out strong and get themselves in that regional field?
Yeah, they're ready to go. Today's our last day of qualifying, but Enos and Saya, they're exempt anyway. But yeah, they're fired up. They're ready to go, and we just got to get healthy. Enos had hand surgery over the break. Yeah. She's kind of, at the end of it now, so she should be fine. And then Lauren's got a bum shoulder, and then Raleigh Puzio, one of her freshmen, possibly is out for the spring. She had a fracture in her foot, and it's not healing properly. So anyway, yeah, we're looking forward to going down to Bolivar. The weather doesn't look very good down there either, but yeah, it should be a good spring.
Yeah, that's March in the Show Me State of Missouri, March in the America's Heartland. Well, you talked about the men going to Edmond, Oklahoma next week. That'll be the Oak Tree Invitational. And we know our men, that's still a pretty young group with 3 freshmen, 5 sophomore. And then you still have your LeBlanc core in Tim and Pat Johnston, Davis Youngbluth and Sam Schoborough. And, of course, Aiden Asby, an event winner last year, a guy that had a great career at William Woods on his home stretch of his career. And so they got that rust knocked off. So what kind of jump do you hope our men take next week?
Well, we picked up a good transfer at break in Bennett Berger. He had a good second round at where did he play? Fort Smith.
That's right.
And I look for him to be a little bit more consistent this tournament down in Oklahoma, along with Parker Boggins. He's a freshman. He's playing very well as well. So
awesome. Yeah, and that's Griffin Golf that will be in action. Not this week. It's an off week for them after our men. I got to be honest, Matt, that first tournament of the spring kind of snuck up on all of us. We're all thinking about Municipal Auditorium. It's like, golf is back the first weekend of March. And so, the Griffin women will be in Bolivar next Monday, Tuesday. The men in Edmond, Oklahoma next Monday, Tuesday. So, obviously, we're just getting started here in the spring. Now, forgive my my naivety here. Is the Central Region back at the country club this year?
The women are, yeah.
Women's
yep.
is. Okay.
We're inside the rankings. We actually didn't play, and we moved up 2 spots last week. So
the women did.
The women did, yeah.
Okay, so where are they in the region right now?
11th.
11th.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And is that the top 10 that qualify?
I believe it's
18. 18.
I think.
That's
yep.
right. Okay, and they're 11.
The men are 10.
Men are 10.
And we were 12th, I think, right now. So,
okay, so the women's take the top 20, men's take top 10
yep.
teams. Okay, for team qualification for the regional. So that's what these teams are playing for. Obviously, several individuals that are have been on that stage, have a chance to get on that stage. But, of course, we know our women's team, was it just last year, qualified to the regional as a team. So we know this program has a history of getting to the postseason. Long spring ahead. I mean, it's March, April, and into May for Griffin Golf. And, of course, most of their events on the road. So stay tuned to the social media pages, our website, gogriffins.com. Best way to keep up with what golf and all of our sports are doing here in the spring as we look to round out this semester and this school year on a strong note. Matt, my friend, good to see you. Have fun out there. Good luck to your athletes.
Thanks for having us.
There you go. Matt Thrasher of Griffin men's and women's golf to lead us off here on the program. We'll welcome on Griffin softball now as, where we're up here talking about a team that's been good, and now we can say historically good at 18-3. This softball team is off to the best start in program history. If you know anything about the history of Griffin softball, you know it's pretty illustrious. You know it's pretty successful, especially since from 2001 on, thanks to the efforts of Jen Bagley Trotter and all those great teams. But now in year number 2, Nicole Thompson has this team rolling, and bringing with her is our starting senior shortstop from Boulder, Colorado, second-year Griffin, Ayva. Third year.
Third base.
Oh, okay. It was shortstop on the roster. I apologize. Third baseman, that's from 6 to 5. It's Ayva McComas, the senior of Boulder, Colorado, joining us. Ladies, thank you for being here. Congratulations. In case you missed it on Saturday, 2 pretty good victories at home against Augustana. A 9-8 win in Game 1, kind of fended off the charge there late, and then a walk-off in Game 2, 4-3. And, Coach, yes, we did some research on Saturday night. The best start in program history. How are you feeling after that one?
It's amazing, honestly. I'm so proud of this group. I just think, this group has always believed it. When we came back this year, like I said, I had such a great senior leadership at the end when we lost to Pitt in that conference tournament. We said goodbye to our seniors, but it was a mission. Like, they started it after that loss, Fort Hays almost had to cut the lights out on us at the game because it was this group that was like, okay, what do we do to get better next year? And that started right there. And how do we not have this feeling at the end of this year? And they have proven it so far. It is just a lot of hard work they've put in. We say this, I think, week in, week out, but it's also their mindset and it's the confidence. And, we lose a couple of these games last year because we don't have that mindset. And it was really cool to see we got out, tip the hat. Augustana is a great program. They've been in a regional for, years. Mm-hmm. I think, too, another stat, I don't think this program has ever swept an Augustana team. Mm-hmm. And so for us to do that on Saturday, too. But when we went down and we came off the field, the group, looked at each other in the huddle, and it was, hey, this pitcher's not beating us. And when I had that, I was like, okay, here we go. And it was just about our time of who was going to do it, how we were going to do it, but I knew at the end of the day we were going to come out with a win.
Yeah. And Ayva, if you'll scoot that mic just a little bit closer for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But you had a great year. You had a solid year last year, a transfer, an All-American from Northeastern Junior College. If you don't remember, I remember Ayva was on this program last year, but this year, batting .324, 7 extra base hits, 37 assists in the field. And Ayva, you were we talked about last year, and you were a part of that. That was a good team, right? 30-plus wins. You win a game in the MIAA tournament. But think about where we are now versus at this time a year ago. Where do you think this team has made the biggest leap or leaps? Across the board, how much better off do you think you are as opposed to a year ago?
It's a night and day difference. Last year's team was amazing and it was great. But this year's team is a team that I think we're going to go deep. I think the trust in our pitchers is huge, the trust the pitchers have on us defense. But I also think we worked so hard in the fall with our offense. Our offense is a completely different team, completely different. Our approaches at the plate, our hard outs, our belief in ourselves, and just it's not all in one hit, getting people in with singles, doubles. It's a completely different team.
Well, you're about the fourth or fifth different player we've had up here just this season, and we've talked about it, but talk about that offseason and working with Coach Steph and Nicole. I mean, what was the intensity level to fix some of those small things?
Yeah, so, I mean, it got to the point in the fall where she knew there's a difference that had to be made in our swings. I mean, she took our legs out of it for a whole week and a half. Weren't allowed to use our legs. We were only working on our hands. I mean, we brought in small groups so we can have one-on-one attention with the coaches and really worked individually what our swings needed, because we all have different swings. She doesn't want all of our swings to be the same, but she wants the best of what we have. So, I mean, all of our hands are quicker, we're faster, we use our legs now. She separated everything, and I genuinely can attest that's why we're hitting the way we are.
Absolutely. That's Ayva McComas, senior third baseman from Boulder, Colorado, with head coach Nicole Thompson from Loveland, Colorado. I've often expressed my affection for y'all's home state. I have a sister that lives in Highlands Ranch. Ayva, I've been to your hometown a couple of times. For those that haven't been to Boulder, A, it's gorgeous, but B, what was the best part about growing up in Boulder, Colorado?
I mean, it's obviously pretty, but the mountains are so close, and I grew up in a snowboarding family, so we could just go up on the weekend and then come back down. But I think the people, too, we're a big fisherman family, and so just being outdoors, and the people are kind for the most part. There's definitely some mean ones, but...
Well, you know, some Husker fans tell some horror stories of going to your football stadium.
Yeah.
Are you a Buffalo then?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I am,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, very cool.
Yes, they can get pretty mean, I will say.
They are a little rowdy. What's the name of that? Is it Foster Field, or what's the name of that stadium again?
What is the name of the stadium?
Folsom.
Folsom. Yeah, I knew it was a F something. Folsom Field. Yeah, wow, some great things going on there. Snowboarding over skiing then, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I've never skied.
Really?
I snowboard since I was like 3.
Oh, that's incredible. I've done skiing in Keystone. I've never snowboarded
okay.
personally.
That's a good place.
It's gorgeous. We'd stay in Silverthorne, Dillon, growing up, a vacation. Oh, great stuff.
Love it.
Talking of what's going on here this week, it's a busy one again for softball. You know, first 19 games they were away from home, and now we get to see them at home. 4 more games at home this week, starting Thursday. Minnesota State, Moorhead, noon and 2, and then MIAA conference play opens this Saturday. Fort Hays State coming up. Now this will be a rematch with Moorhead. We played them in Shawnee a little over a week ago, beat them in a single game 9-4. So starting there, coach, the Dragons, obviously they're not where they want to be right now at 1-16, but looking at their schedule, my lord, they've played 17 games, 6 of them against ranked teams, and I was looking at this too. Moorhead's strength of schedule's in the top 30 toughest in the country. So just starting Thursday, these teams have seen each other already. What's the key there?
You know, staying consistent and staying present. I think we've talked about that. You know, you don't have the program's best start of a season if you don't take each game by game. And so, yes, we're really proud of what we've done with the record and the wins, but, you know, before every game, we talk to our kids about it. Like, we go back to 0-0. Like, that has to be our mindset, whether we've played them, whether it's the second game in the doubleheader, or whether, they're a new kid off the block on our schedule. And so I think that's still going to be our motto this week of it doesn't matter if we've beaten them, doesn't matter if we've played. We were down at one point in that game. They hit a 3-run home run, and we were down 3-2. And so they can hit it. They've got a whole pitching staff. And so, I think this will be a good thing, just kind of getting a fine-tune, getting some kids, too, maybe some extra at-bats for us. And, just like I said, working on things that we need to work on before we get into conference. And that was really what I wanted to do with this non-conference schedule is, get some confidence, but also, play some teams that, are ranked and have been in regionals in the past, of like showing our kids that we do have the confidence. We've been here before. And I think, like I said, going back to our record, you don't do that if you don't have different kids like Ayva step up. She's worked so hard on her swing. I'm so proud of her, but her confidence in the plate, I knew that if we could get her up in that last inning, like she was going to put a good ball on it, and she did. And so, but it's been awesome to see that there's a new kid every day that steps up. And for that to have that to going into conference, I think just builds those confidence. But, whether it's a pitcher that closes the door, Torre slammed the door against Augustana the first game, and then we come back and she pitches a full game the second game. We've had our 2-hole step up. We've had 3-hole. We've had, the bottom of the lineup, for Sienna to hit a go-ahead home run in Augustana, and Sophie Johnson hit her first home run in a Griff jersey too. I mean, those are really cool things to see in a week that we've really wanted to talk about. Like, we don't need anyone else to believe in us. It's the team that's in that dugout right now, and that's all we need. And so I think going into, like I said, mindset of 0-0 with this team, but then fine-tuning something that really matters and not looking forward to Fort Hays. We've got to take care of business on Thursday.
I think that's one of the, not even joking, I love that mantra. We don't need anyone else to believe in us but us. I've talked to many coaches in my time. That's a great phrase there. And then Fort Hays State coming in Saturday noon and 2. They're 9-7. Any early feel on Hays, what they're about?
Yeah, I think very similar to us. They have a whole new pitching staff. And so I think their hitters have gotten better as well, and so they can swing it. They've put some good scores against some teams too here in our. We've at least played some tournaments that we've kind of seen each other, and so it's going to be a good matchup. We need to play Griffin softball, and if we do that, then we can take care of business. But like I said, I'm just excited to get into MIAA, but we've got to take care of business first on Thursday, and that should lead us into that confidence of, okay, we've been battle tested, we're at our home field, we should now have the confidence, and if we do the little things right, it doesn't matter who's over on that other side of the dugout. If we play our game and stay true to ourselves and trust our process, then we put ourselves in a good spot to be successful.
Yeah, 18-3, and what's exciting of those 21 games we played, 10 are against Central Region teams, 9-1 against the Central Region. So again, when we're we just went through it, bracketology in basketball. When we're counting our chips end of the year, those wins you get in the early part of the year, gosh, do they help so much. And Mo West has put themselves in a great spot. Best start in program history. Go out and see them. We're talking about they're in the midst of a 6-game homestand, friends. So Thursday at noon and 2, Saturday noon and 2. Weather permitting, always be checking GoGriffins.com and Mo West Athletics for any potential time changes. It is March after all. But Ayva, Nicole, congratulations. I'm happy to say I'll finally be in the chair to watch you guys Thursday. So good luck, and we'll see you out there.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Ayva McComas, Nicole Thompson. Lovely talking with our ladies from Griffin softball. We'll welcome up our head tennis coach, Alejandro de la Torre, fresh off the road and fresh off a couple victories. Tennis was back in Kearney, Nebraska, in their big, beautiful indoor tennis facility, and Griffins picked up a couple of wins over the weekend, 7-0 over Midland, and then 6-1 just yesterday against Minnesota State, who we know, of course, is a Central Region opponent. Alejandro, welcome back. Congratulations. Great results here this weekend. I mean, talking of, Minnesota State, you get wins in 2 and 3 doubles, take 5 out of 6 singles, so a great way to end. Midland, that's one that you probably expect to win, right, when you play an NAIA school, and, Minnesota State, those all count in the region, and you talk about wanting to see response after frustrating results. Seems like you got that this weekend. Just thoughts on the performance?
So, yeah, like you said, the first one we were expecting to win that one, but it was more important to see, more than winning the match, it was like to see the changes that we've been making in practice and seeing if we could compete also at that level, and they did. So I think, we will have win that match playing like we were playing the beginning of the season, but I think we wouldn't win it that easy as we did. So that was good. And then the one win against Mankato was a good win too. We had to play good against that team. We won 6-1, but at some point looked like it was going to be a 4-3 one way or the other. So happy to get the win.
Yeah, I know, like Johanna's singles match, it went to a third set, and yeah, it was highly competitive. I know the number 6 singles that clinched, closed out the match for Mo West there on Sunday against Minnesota State. Well, you have a very busy week coming up. The Griffin tennis team back at home, friends, this coming Thursday and Friday. Southwest Baptist at noon on Thursday, and Friday at noon, Washita Baptist there at the Genesis Health Center. And then you go to Arkansas for a little 3-game swing. Griffin tennis, Sunday the 15th at Arkansas Tech. A week from today, Monday the 16th, Griffin tennis at Henderson State. And then Tuesday the 17th on St. Patrick's Day, Southern Arkansas. Making the natural state swing, Russellville, Arkadelphia, and Magnolia. And you're playing, you got Southwest Baptist and then 4 teams, I guess it is, from the state of Arkansas. In short, Alejandro, 5 matches in 6 days, 3 of them on the road. How are you gearing up for this week?
Resting a lot. We didn't practice today, and these next 2 practices are going to be very short. I think these matches all are similar level to Mankato, if not better. It's going to be very important that we just recover well, rest well. If we compete the way we are competing and practicing, we should have an opportunity to win. None of them are easy, but it's not, like you said, a lot of matches in a short span of time, so it's going to be more the physical and mental toughness aspect than the playing.
Yeah. 5 matches in 6 days, and of those 5 matches, 4 are against Central Region competition from the Great American Conference. But yeah, back-to-back home matches, obviously an opportunity for folks to come out and see it. So just to confirm, it is still inside at Genesis, or are we playing outside?
Thursday, yes. Friday, depends. Like the weather is right on the fence.
Okay.
So I have to make a decision with the coach probably between today and tomorrow, and probably will be, I think, inside, but we might be outside. But
okay, well, that's easy to know. If they're inside, it's Genesis. If they're outside, it's the Noyes tennis courts at Central High School. But for folks that may want to come out and watch, I know these matches are it makes for a long day. I mean, they are a long affair, and there's only so much room for people to sit and stand and everything. But for folks who want to come to Genesis or Noyes, like, what is something that fans should know about if they want to come out and just watch for a little while?
If you come to the beginning, that's when things are more fast-paced. If you want to watch the doubles, like even if you just watch the doubles for like 40 minutes, that's probably more fun. Then there's a bit of a break between doubles and singles. It also depends where we play. If we play outside, we play on 6 courts, and everything is much faster. Like this last match we played was on 6 courts and only took 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Nice.
So that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
When we play in Genesis, we have to. It's much longer because we usually play on 3 courts. But even if you show up if I was a fan, I would just watch for sure. I would want to watch more doubles than singles. Yeah, cool. But there's a lot of time. Even if you swing for a little bit, you'll see something good.
Yeah, well, that's so interesting at Genesis because you're watching through the glass. They're up high, you're down low, so it makes for an interesting
it's a good view.
Atmosphere. Yeah, no, it's interesting, and that's the thing. The Griffins are going back on the road Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week, but back at home this Thursday and Friday. Again, if it's indoors, it's at Genesis. If it's outdoors, at Noyes. Again, GoGriffins.com, the best place to stay up to date with what's going on. But the match on Thursday against Southwest Baptist at noon. Match on Friday against Washita Baptist is at noon as well. Griffins are 4-2, winners at 3 of their last 4, wins over the weekend against Midland and Minnesota State. So, Alejandro, it's a busy week around here, we know that, but best of luck to your team, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, man.
All right, there you go, Alejandro de la Torre. Well, actually, not next week. They'll be in Arkansas, but you get the picture. Griffin tennis is going to be very active this week, so stay tuned for all of the coverage on that. We continue from High Hole Bar and Grill in St. Joseph, our weekly Griffin Sports Insider podcast, talking Griffin baseball now. Mo West baseball on the road to Warrensburg at Crane Stadium to take on a good team, 4th-ranked Central Missouri. If anyone in this conference has been battle-tested more than our bunch, I'd like to see it because, man, as Mo West faced some really good ones out of the gate, and things started off well. A doubleheader on Saturday. The Griffins took it 10-3, but then the Mules responded, winning Game 2 16-0 and Game 3 13-3, joined by the head coach Michael Keeran. Well, Michael, that started so good. Cole Evans does his thing, 102 pitches, 6 innings, and that's a big deal to beat a program like that, even if it is a single game. That said, I know the finish was tough. A couple of run rule wins for the Mules. Just takeaways from the weekend in Warrensburg.
Yeah. I think if it was probably in any other, like you jumble up the order any other way, it's a lot more satisfying,
sure.
Right? It was like the ultimate highs. Like the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, like in one day. So that was tough. I mean, it was the first time the program's beaten UCM in 7 years. So, I mean, they were in the national championship game last year. So, that's good. It's positive momentum. But it's just it's just like a mental warfare sometimes we put ourselves through because you win a big game and the Giants going to wake up, and they did.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they were really good. I'm not going to take anything away from them. We beat them Game 1. I mean, we beat them in Game 2 and 3. They killed us, We didn't play very well. They played incredibly well. They kind of showed why they are a dynasty, so to speak, in our league. And it was a good lesson. Coach Crooks was awesome just to be able to talk to him. A guy who's been there for almost 2 decades and has been to some national championship games and was in a national championship game last year, and just kind of see the blueprint. Again, I'm not trying to overhype them or anything, but it's just a respect thing. He's done it at the highest level, and it was cool to be in that environment and get one. But, it would have been a lot cooler to get 2 or just to be a little bit more competitive those other 2 games.
Just curious, how was the field Saturday? I mean, I was staying in Lee Summit the night before, and it poured rain. Was it pretty sloppy out there?
It was all turf, so that helped.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a nice place.
Yes,
so it was all turf. But, like, us just walking to our dugout, it was just like mud. So it's one of those days where you're definitely – turf's a great investment. I mean, it makes things possible, and I don't know if we'd be able to – I don't think we'd probably be able to play that day if they didn't have turf, so that was good. That was good.
Yeah, we do have that advantage at home as well. And speaking of home, we'll be home for a bit. A 5-game homestand that starts tomorrow, our first midweek game. We got Truman State in here, 3 o'clock, I believe that one starts, and then Fort Hays State here this weekend, Friday at 3, Saturday 2, Sunday at 1, and then a week from tomorrow, Emporia State in a conference single game next Tuesday. So some good opportunities ahead. You hope the weather cooperates, but you never know. It is fluid, as we know, but we're used to that, and it's a lot of innings for your arms coming up the next week. How do you and the staff go about attacking it?
Jokingly, I asked Cole Evans if he could throw with his left arm, but he can't do that. He told me he couldn't learn that in a week's span. So, the biggest message is, like, you get your opportunities. Like, that's all you're given is an opportunity. And if you don't do anything with it, then you're just wasting it. And you don't really have a leg to stand on anymore about why you're not or why you are or you're not throwing. Like, I think you have to be happy with the role you're in. Or not happy, excuse me. You have to respect the role you're in. You don't have to be happy about it, but, like, we need some guys to step up. And we just need consistency. Like, it's tough, like, when Jackson Perro, like, we don't start him right. Mm-hmm. We bring him in relief, and then he's lights out, and Central Missouri is like, hey, that's the best arm we've seen all year. It's like, sweet, But he had some struggles, and we tried to kind of – baseball is a big psychological game. There's a reason why you can win big one day and in the same day lose big. It's consistency, and the psychological effect that it has on it. So pitching is a little bit weird. That's why I was never a pitching coach is – those guys, I think, they need a little bit more. And Coach O'Donnell does a good job of being a little bit more yin and yang with them, a little more even keel than I probably am. And I'm looking forward to when this thing finally flips into, because as a coach, like, do you give praise and it's genuine, or do you give praise just to praise? And, like, that's kind of what I told him. Like, that's the point we're at. Is do you want it to be authentic and genuine? Well, then you got to earn it, okay? Like, you've got to give me something to compliment you about. I'm looking forward. They've been challenged the last 24 hours, so we don't really have a choice. We just got to keep going.
Amen to that. Yeah, 5-game homestand that starts Tuesday at 3, Friday at 3, Saturday at 2, Sunday at 1, next Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Another home conference series. You said it a couple weeks ago, but 7 of your first 10 at home. Is it still too early to say we play well at home?
I mean, if we want to label it, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like we home is nice to play at. Sure, like, it is. It's great. It's just the road is tough when you play, like, top 20, top 5, top 3. It's like, like how bad are you on the road, and how much of it is just circumstantial. Mm-hmm. So, I'll give it another week and probably make a determination from there. But, it's nice to be at home, sleep in your own bed, and just kind of go through your routines and just be around environment and not have the crowd heckling you as much and stuff like that, and just having support. Support's big. And that was the other cool thing. Like, we beat Central Missouri, and a kid that I had coached when I was high school, like 13 years ago, my first coaching gig ever. Mm-hmm. And one of my players' dads went to Missouri Western for baseball, and, like, it was like last out. 2 seconds later, I had a text in my phone when I checked it. So that's cool, where it's like, all right, somebody that I hadn't talked to in probably a decade is still kind of following things and is proud of, what we did against them. But we just got to give more people way more things to be proud about.
Yeah, the first 3 series at home are all wins, and I will say this, Michael, it was crazy how it panned out. We called a terrific semifinal with our women on Saturday that went down as a 4-point loss, and I looked at my phone and I saw Griffin baseball beat Central Missouri, and I knew it had been a long time. I thought it was 2018, but 20 whatever. I mean, I knew at that point, I'm like, wow, that's a cool thing. So that was a nice message to end on, just saying, chins up. Things are good around here, and hopefully some good things here this week. And we'll be out there tomorrow, 3 o'clock, the Truman State Bulldogs to get our week started. Then Fort Hays State in here this weekend. Dan Byford will be in for me in that series against the Tigers. So until then, Coach, great stuff. Good luck this week.
Thanks, Tommy.
There you
Appreciate
go.
it.
That's Michael Keeran joining us, coming off the road of a series at Central Missouri. And, obviously, baseball, it's a series thing, right? You want to win the series. But, again, the fact that he said it, that's a step to take one from a team as good as UCM. That means a lot. Women's basketball, magical run down in Kansas City. A team, Coach, that left it all out there on Saturday against the eventual tournament champion in Washburn. But how do you put to word not only this past week, but really the last 5 or 6 weeks, the journey that this team has been on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was an incredible run over the last month. Really just we're playing great basketball, coming together as playing as a team. Our defense improved so much from where we started. We kind of found our identity as a team late in the year, and that kind of happens when you have a whole new group come together and try to figure it out. It was fun to watch and fun to see our growth. I mean, as a coach, that's kind of what you do this for, is to see people grow and make that next step. And obviously disappointing we couldn't finish it. Thought we ran out of gas at the end, but incredibly proud of them for their effort and toughness, because like Nakiya here, I don't know how many minutes exactly she played over those 3 games, but she played a lot of minutes. I mean, you go down the line, Mia played a ton of minutes, Anna played a ton of minutes. I mean, Lindsay did. That's tough. But they responded. They played incredibly hard. Yeah.
Well, minutes wasn't a stat I looked at, but I looked at all the other ones for Nakiya, who had 2 double-doubles down there this week, 26 combined points, 37 combined rebounds. And Nakiya, thanks for being here, number 1. Congratulations, number 2, on a great run. But, from a player's perspective, obviously a lot of attention on Mia and the things that she was doing. But, it took everybody, right? Lindsey Kelderman hit some big shots, and everybody had their moment. Anna, some big buckets down the stretch. What can you say? What can you speak to as far as the heart and the effort this team showed down there this week?
I'm very proud of, how we came out and how we, stayed together and still fought through the end. For me, I knew I had to get on the boards them days, because I knew second chance points was going to be a big effect on us. So I was just trying to get our team second points. So, if anything happens, we got the rebound, we can, set up an offense and do it again.
And for you, you played for this guy for 2 years at Wabash, had some great runs, some great moments, but, to overcome the adversity, to be all conference, to achieve some of the things you did after the start that you had. What did the back half of this year especially mean for you personally?
It meant a lot to me, me and Coach, we came in together, I trust in his plan, and all the other coaching staff, I saw his vision, and, he's all about winning, and I am too, so, that was the goal, and we succeeded to go at the end. It was hard in the beginning, but we stuck together, and we kept believing in each other.
Yeah, I think those last 11 or so games shows what it's supposed to look like. And when it looks the way it does, it is a lot of fun. We found that out for sure. But also, Coach, Nakiya, a junior, but we have 6 seniors on our team. And I feel for those kids, especially, Mia Morrell, who broke an MIAA tournament record with 90 points down there. Obviously heartbroken at the end of that one Saturday. I think about Lindsey Kelderman, who's played in over 120 career games in the MIAA. And Meredith Reeker. Gosh, will I miss seeing Mike and Jana around these parts. But Meredith, who played in 92 games for this university. What's the parting message for that group?
Yeah, a great group of seniors, great individuals and good basketball players as well. Obviously it was an incredible run at the end, and, that makes you feel better about it, because at the end of the day, too, hopefully left a good taste in their mouth, right? Nobody likes to lose. And finishing strong and, with some momentum, I left it in a good place, right? I think over that last month, we started having fun playing basketball together.
Now, I will ask you, some of these seniors, obviously, like Sid Lewis listed as a junior. She's, getting her degree. Mia Morrell, I'm a little bit curious about. Spent 2 years at Cal Baptist, was unable to play. I think she'd be able to come back. Is that something she's considering at all?
Yeah, I think all options are on the table.
Good.
She's talked about, potentially going overseas and playing.
Right, I heard about that, yeah.
I think she's just going to kind of weigh what's best for her and her family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we try to be very transparent. We want to do what's best for you, right? She's going to graduate with her bachelor's degree, and then kind of figure out what she wants to do from there moving forward. But I mean, she does technically she still does have a year left of eligibility. Her body's been through a lot, through injuries and stuff. So that's where she got to weigh, what she wants to do and what's best for her.
And we talked about Mia breaking the scoring record, most points in the week in the MIAA tournament. That's what Mia did. But her 556 points this year, third most by an individual player in Griffin women's basketball history. And you look at now, I'll have to go back and update all of it, but the individual scoring records, I think about now 4 of our top 10 scoring efforts in a single game in history belong to Mia Morrell. So just one of a flurry of special stories that we've had here this year. But now as we do look toward this off-season evaluation and figuring out how it's all going to come together. I mean, Rob Edmondson said it, he's been in coaching a long time. He understands just the recruiting piece. Being down there on semifinal Saturday with the folks tuning in either on the radio or on the stream and having this success, how much momentum do you feel like you and Olivia and Darvin have as you go on the road?
Yeah, I think, part of our big selling pitch here is this place has won majorly in the history of Griffin women's basketball. And then, I've been fortunate. I've won a lot of games in my career as well.
Mm-hmm.
We want people who want to win, and, it becomes a lot easier to sell when you have success at the end of the season. Like, hey, it took us a while, but look at where we came and look where we finished. We played the toughest schedule in the country. I think when you looked at, at the end of the year standings on, region rankings, I think we finished 11th. We're probably 3 wins away from playing the NCAA tournament.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's why it's a little even more tough because you were that close. And people want to play for programs that win and have had success. So gaining that momentum and understanding look at when we play our brand of basketball, what that looks like. Top 50 in the country in pace, top 50 in three-pointer shot. Mm-hmm. Right? You start top 50 in scoring. You start looking at that, and that's playing the best teams. That's not playing bad competition. That's playing great competition. And that's what people don't realize. When playing games throughout our years, me and Kyle the last 2 years, I bet games that we won by 30 points were probably, if we played 60 games, we won at least 40 of them by 30 points or more at a minimum. Your stats get inflated. Well, our stats didn't get inflated because we played great competition. So, relaying that message to people and explain hey, we're going to play an exciting, fast-paced brand of style basketball that gives you freedom. And will work, because we saw, it will work, and, and it's a good tool moving forward.
Yeah, there really wasn't a single bad loss on the schedule. I think now with Kearney sneaking in the way they did, that's no losses to teams under 500. I think it's at least a dozen games against teams that were regionally ranked at the end of the year. We know we played 8 ranked teams in all. I mean, and think about the brands. I mean, we talked about it early in the year, but Grand Valley State, Lubbock Christian, Harding, obviously Hayes, Washburn, Central Missouri, twice for each of them. I mean, it's crazy what this team was able to do, the battles that they went through, and obviously those games, those hardships at Civic Arena in November, it definitely paid off at Municipal Auditorium in the month of March. So, a great finish and more great things to come. And talk about winning. I think you hit career win number 250, and this program has exceeded 900 wins in all-time history. So, great stuff. Nakiya, I'll give you the final word. Just any closing thoughts on the year that you just experienced?
It was a great experience. I'm just very proud of everyone and how they fought through, It stings, it hurts, but it also prepares you for next year, This is not the end, We're only going to get better from here.
Well, that's a great note to end on. So I know you guys are proud of yourselves. We are proud of you. We loved all that, and we can't wait for more next year. So, Luke, Nakiya, congratulations, and here's to the future. Great stuff.
Thank you, Tommy.
All right, Nakiya Harris, Luke Scheidecker. Give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what a year. What a run that was, and what a week. I mean, I've been going down there for 5 years, the MIAA tournament, and there's people in this room that have been going down a lot longer than that, but, that was, I can say, one of my favorite experiences down there. We felt pretty good when we went off the air on Saturday night, knowing that our team would hear their name called on Selection Sunday, and so they did. Missouri Western men's basketball, the 5 seed in the NCAA Central Region Tournament. We will take on St. Cloud State. We know a time. You're not going to love it. It's Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. But here to talk about it, men's basketball coach Brooks McCowen, making what will be his 4th appearance in the NCAA tournament as a head coach. And joining him is a 6'4" junior guard from Rhinebeck, Iowa. Played on one of those Upper Iowa NCAA tournament teams for Brooks McCowen, and he was our hero Friday night, Mr. Will Kiburis. Gentlemen, welcome. Congratulations, Brooks. I loved what you had to say at our watch party last night, that this is a big deal. This is historical, especially for a program that's been teetering on something big really the last decade. And this group, this first-year group, 12 new players, and you guys have done it. Just speak on that history and what it means for you and for this program.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's the goals that you set at the beginning of the year, and everybody wants to get to this point. And for these guys to accomplish that and what they've done has been amazing. We talked about it last night a little bit, but when you put a new group like that together, you don't know how long it's going to take to mesh. You just talked about it with Luke. Like, sometimes it takes a while to find your flow and find your rhythm. And fortunately for me, I was able to bring Will and Noah and Gav and Trey that all knew our system really well. They had played for me and been around me enough that they kind of knew what to expect. So they were able to get the guys together and get that chemistry going, because those first 2 games of the year are at the Hilliard are 2 of the most important games in the whole year. So we were able to get off to a good start and get rolling right away and get some big wins in our non-conference, which set us up for what ended up happening. So I'm excited for this group. They definitely have earned a shot at the NCAA tournament, and we're excited to be in it. And 8:30 is fine with us. We don't care what time we play or where we're playing, so we'll be ready to go at 8:30.
Oh, that's good. Well, so will I. Maybe I'll take a couple of Diet Cokes to keep me awake, but no, it'll be good. And isn't it a small world? It's funny how Hilliard kind of binds this all together. Brooks McCowen's Upper Iowa played at Hilliard. St. Cloud State, who were playing Saturday night, they played and lost to Northwest in Hilliard, in our place in November. So we always know that's a Central Region showcase, that those games are really going to be big. What a big way to start your year. Will, good to be here. Good to see you again, and great stuff this week, by the way. Wanted to ask you, I talked to Joel on our post game when Brooks was doing the press conference, that's 3 coaches and 3 players who are on the Upper Iowa team last year that had 21 wins and were left out. Not to bring up, I don't say this to bring up a bad memory, I say it for perspective's sake. Having gone through that, riding back on the bus and having to watch upheaval in the Midwest region and get bounced off the bubble, for this team to do enough in that at-large position to punch that ticket, I mean, what does it mean for the group of Peacocks who went through that heartbreak last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy when you're, like, kind of cheerleaders for other teams. I mean, it's a little bit better when you have the power in your hands and you can kind of do it yourself, so... Yeah, it was good to just, get that win against Arkansas Fort Smith, so we could kind of relieve a little stress right there. And, yeah, that's just a little bit nicer than having to watch other teams and make sure the games go the way you need them. So it's better when you can just get it done yourself.
Yeah, it was the first time going to semifinals in 5 years. First time going to semis at Muni since 2020. It was only the 4th trip to MIAA semis in the last 16 years. So that alone, I mean, I said it on both the broadcasts that just being in the Final Four of the MIAA feels like you've achieved something pretty big, and obviously both of our programs did that. Will's numbers through the week, 25 points combined with, 9 total rebounds, 6 total assists, 7 steals, 2 block shots, and, of course, the go-ahead with 0.8 seconds left against Arkansas Fort Smith. So, all right, Will, they just hit an unbelievable shot, Fort Smith. 6 seconds to go. You got the ball. You call timeout. Take me into that huddle, what was talked about, and take me through those last few seconds dribbling up the floor.
Well, yeah, I mean, we practiced this situation. I mean, this is something we've gone over before. We've been in this type of situation before, so we kind of already knew what to expect, kind of already had the play in the back of our mind of what was going to happen. Brooks drew up what we were going to do, and, supposed to go to Noah and him make him play, but he just made a very unselfish play, gave me the ball right back, and just trying to make a play with it at that point. So it was really, I mean, I don't really remember it very well, to be honest. But, I just remember just putting my head down trying to get to the rim.
I heard a stat this morning that this team is 5-1 in games decided by a single possession, including 2 one-point victories this year. Cardiac grifts is maybe a phrase that's been thrown around a little bit. So Saturday, Coach, Washburn, golly, I mean, credit to them. I mean, the things that Brett Ballard's doing, you can't help but respect it. But we have seen this team now 3 times, and there's a pretty good chance we could see them a 4th. I mean, if they beat Duluth, if we take care of business, we'd play in the semifinals on Sunday. But about Washburn, I think I was talking to Danny last night at the selection show that it's so deceiving, I think, when you look at our results against them, like, 12, 14-point result, because it's like, man, what Washburn's superpower is that if you make a mistake, they will take it down the other way. They flip the floor so fast. They score off turnovers so much. So it's like, even though the final score reads 10, 12, 14, I feel the same way I did in the regular season. If a couple plays go a different way, maybe if Gavin hit one of those good-looking threes in the second half, I mean, you're right there with them, so it's frustrating but also encouraging that I don't think we're as far behind from the 30-1 team as the scores would indicate.
Yeah, we've been slow playing them. We've been holding everything back when we played them in the last 3 games, so we've got some – I'm just kidding. They're good. They're just a good basketball team. Like, we made our runs at them in all the games, and you go back to the last game that we played them, like, we cut that thing to 9 a few times in the second half. We cut it to 4 just before the half, and they went on a run to punch it to 11 right before half. But – they just hit big shots. Like, they came down, and I felt like we were guarding them well, and we did some things really well this time against them, but they made big shots when they needed to make big shots, and that's what good teams do. And then we turned it over way too much. Just that was one of the things going into it. We knew that you can't turn it over because they flip the court and go score every time on it, and we gave them 27 points in turnovers. And you're not beating a team like that doing that. So if we get the opportunity, when we get the opportunity to play them again, we'll be excited for it. We'll be ready for it. And, like, you know how these guys are. They're going to show up, and they're going to compete, and they're going to play hard. And it's one of those days where we can make the right plays, keep it simple, and knock down open shots. We'll have a shot to win.
Absolutely, and that's what Mo West will to get to another chance at Washburn. Obviously, first things first, it's the Huskies of St. Cloud State, who again played in our city back in November. Didn't play us, but they shared the floor with us at the Hilliard Tip-Off Classic. And of course, they gave us a big forward, Vance Pfeiffer, joining us at semester from St. Cloud State. So that's an obvious tie with these programs. A St. Cloud team that's 25-6 overall, 20-2 in the Northern Sun regular season conference champions in their conference. And then, of course, Minnesota Duluth, a bid stealer, beat St. Cloud in the conference semifinals just this past week. And, Coach, this is a team that used to be a conference rival of Upper Iowa. You played them 16 times. You beat them 9 times there as the head coach of the Peacocks. This year, I haven't done my deep dive yet, but just kind of surface level, seems like they're a very good defensive team. They're holding teams to 67 points a game, on average about 12 takeaways per game, holding teams to low percentage from beyond the arc. And Quincy Henderson is their head coach. He's on year 4. We played St. Cloud at the early part of last season in November of 24, played them in the D2 CCA Tip-Off Classic. Dev Butler was a part of that, and Vance Pfeiffer was a part of that on the St. Cloud roster. So these are 2 teams that, we're in the region, right? I mean, we cross paths a lot. And we're playing late Saturday at 8:30. So where does it start this week with St. Cloud?
Yeah, they're good. Quincy does a really good job with them. He's kind of turned that program around a little bit from when he's taken over it. And he was on all those really, really good teams at Winona back in the day, and they kind of look like that. They're just tough, hard-nosed. They grind you out. A good comparable for people that have watched our league this year would be like a Fort Hays, like where they're just going to defend you, they're going to be physical, they're going to hit you, and then they make the right plays. So it's a good matchup. Like we like the matchup, and we're excited about it. But we know it's going to be one of those physical games, tough, hard-nosed games, and we're going to have to show up ready to roll.
Absolutely. Will, just for you, you've played on this stage before. Obviously, Brooks has been there before as a head coach. Just with all the, different basketball backgrounds and all the experience we got, I mean, I don't think anyone can say this is a super young team. I know we have 3 phenom freshmen, but we also have a lot of guys, you a junior. We got 3 seniors who have had great careers. How much confidence does that give, just knowing we have a lot of players who have played in the postseason? We have some who haven't, but are having great years anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, we don't have a ton of guys who have been, like, in this region of the Division II, but we have, like, with Ty. I mean, he was an NAI, played Sweet 16 last year, so he's got a lot of experience. Me, Noah, Gav, we've been there before, we've seen it, so I think that helps. And then obviously Dev, I mean, he's played on a big stage his whole life, so we got a lot there. And I think our young guys do a good job too, so I think they'll be fine. Not really too worried about them. So I think, just having some experience like that, I think we're in a good spot there.
And obviously, Dev, we were all at the watch party. I had a chance to talk to Dev for a little bit. That he had made the remark that he felt like he has never been on a team that was so new and gelled together so fast. I mean, how did you see that kind of play out through the year?
Yeah, no, I thought we did a good job right when we came in. I thought everyone kind of meshed well together. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, but day by day, I think we got better and better, and that could go for as a team together and individually. I think a lot of our guys, put in a lot of work, and they do a lot of good things individually, and you get better as an individual, and then as a team, it just all kind of comes together, and we play well together, and we got a lot of good guys that mesh.
Yeah, things came together well for this team, a team that had a really good start, and then again, it's still a team that's won 7 of their last 10 entering this postseason. That put some really good wins in the bank. There was regional upheaval on Twitter, as there always is. Those first couple teams out, understandably, always feel a little bit jaded. I mean, Upper Iowa was one of them in the Midwest region last year. Southern Naz, we knew it would be close with them. Harding got the automatic bid. I guess I'll end it there, Coach. With this regionalization system, I think we all agree it's flawed and that we'd like to see it go another way. I think the NAIA model is a great model, would be good for Division II, but for you guys to do what you did, it's 13 games against teams that are ranked 65th or higher in KPI. We beat Mo West, the GLVC regular season champion Rockhurst, a win over GLVC tournament champ William Jewell. We played 8 games against teams who are in the NCAA tournament field. I mean, that strength of schedule, it was everything for this group.
Yeah, it was huge, and that's something that we do when we're scheduling. You never know. You don't know how good teams are going to be. You kind of go off their past records and stuff, and but I've always tried to put a good strength of schedule together. I think that helps you in the long run and in the tournament. And this is the last year that we're going to have to worry about people complaining about not being in or being in, because we're moving to NPI next year. So everybody's
computers will select.
Yeah, everybody's going to have the numbers throughout the whole year. D3 does it right now, and they talked about it when they were doing their selection show the other day, that there's no more of that questioning. We had a good feeling we were in last night, but I was still nervous as heck watching that thing.
If Rogers State had won, then there would have been some questions.
Yeah, you're still nervous and you don't know for sure, because the committee can flip things and do different scenarios, or look at head-to-heads different and not look at the overall picture. So right now you're nervous until you see your name. But next year it'll be MPI, and you'll know exactly who it is. You'll know what you need to have done, who needs to win, who needs to lose. So it'll all be right there for you. So there won't be any more of that. And hopefully, this is just my opinion, and I don't have a lot of say with the NCAA. So hopefully this helps get rid of regionalization too. Hopefully the NPI will show that our region has 4 teams that should be in the NCAA tournament according to the numbers that aren't in it. And then they can start to look at, maybe other regions or have teams that are in that shouldn't be in compared to us. So hopefully this will help that, and everybody will kind of see that some of these regions are way more, as you know, than others. So hopefully that we'll see that, and they'll kind of go away from that, and we can go to a different model and get the right teams in and get the best 64 teams in.
I know we probably don't have time to delve into all of it, but with NPI, we used KPI to seed our conference tournament last year. What's the difference?
There's a video out there that you can watch that I haven't really watched yet, because they haven't turned the dials either. There's these dials you can turn. That strength of schedule is a little more of this and this and that. So we'd have to get Joel up here. I think he's really delved into it, so he might know a little better than me on this one. But we just know you're gonna see it. You can look it up for the D3 one right now and look at their NPI, and it goes into all the details on it. So, but everybody's gonna know who's ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 8. So
what you described just sounds to me like the old BCS system. It's computers, you stack them, and it's all just kind of power. It's a strength. I know strength of schedule is always the big one. It's if you're beating good teams, or if you play competitively against good teams and beat them once in a while, odds are you're going to be in good shape. That's exactly what this group did this year. A whale of a schedule, whale of an effort. We know it's the most wins since 2003. It's only the 3rd bid to the big dance in the last 16 years, the 13th NCAA tournament bid for Griffin men's basketball all time. And I know we've been aching, we've been hungering these last few years for it, and we got it with a great group of men, and they will put it on the line Saturday night. Stay up with us, Griff Nation. Make the trip down It's only an hour and a half to Lee Arena, which objectively I think will be a great regional host. I know Gene Castle and all those folks over there working hard to welcome us and all these schools that are coming. Saturday at 8:30, we'll be on the air. Myself, Coach Smith will be there. 8:15 pregame Saturday night. The tip-off at 8:30. The semifinals are Sunday. The regional championship on Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day. So, gentlemen, we love it. Congratulations. I know you worked hard for this, and can't wait to be down there. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Tommy.
There you go. Brooks McCowen and Will Kiburis joining us on this part of the program. Another team that gave us so many thrills this week in Kansas City. You know, my 5th year in this league, and to have 2 basketball teams at semifinal Saturday, it was a lot of fun, win or lose. I mean, just to be at that table and watch our kids do those things. It was awesome.